Hi everyone, it's Mary Jo. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm doing this video for Chiron moving into Aries. And that's going to be happening on April 17th, 2018. And it will stay there until May of 2027. So it's a very long transit. And Chiron is the wounded healer. It is the asteroid that was found in 77 that talks to us about the wound sets that we bring in this life when your soul decided to jump in from the void at that exact moment. Where the asteroid Chiron was is going to be where your wound set is. So it depends on not only what sign it's in, but in the house. So if Chiron, let's say, is in your first house and it is in Aries, your wound sets will be based on your identity, your ego, yourself. And Aries would be the way you express it with all that passion and vim and vigor, maybe even warlike, aggressive energy. So depending on where Chiron was at the time of your birth in your natal chart is how your wound sets are going to be unlocked in this lifetime. Because the glyph for Chiron looks like a K with a circle under it. So it almost looks like a key that you can open, like an old skeleton key. And that is the key to how you would unlock your wound sets that you hope to unlock in this lifetime, so that you don't have to bring it unresolved into the next lifetime. Chiron is named after the centaur Chiron. Saturn, or Kronos, okay, one of the gods, Greek mythology, brother of Zeus, fell in love with this nymph, Phrygia. And he chased after her, and she turned herself into a mare. So to pursue her, he turned himself into a horse, and he ravaged her, basically raped her, and she gave birth to a half-human, half-horse son named Chiron. And she rejected him, and he was the product of a rape, and she found him hideous and repulsive. So here he was born into this life for being rejected by his parents just for being who he was. His uncle Apollo took pity on him, and he raised him and gave him all the wisdom that he had. And Chiron developed into being quite a master at music, math, the arts, and sciences, and especially healing. He was known as the great healer. He taught many, many people, sons of gods and kings, how to fight, how to learn music, the arts, and especially he was a great healer and teacher of healing in modern medicine, even ancient medicine, to help people. As it would turn out, Chiron's one of his students, Heracles, which is the Greek version of Hercules in the Romans, the great warrior, was one of his students, and he accidentally pricked him. The story varies whether he shot him accidentally while they were battling the centaurs. Somebody say that he dropped an arrow on him, but the arrow tip was laced with the poison of the Hydra, which was the guardian in Hades, and it would kill anyone. There was no way of healing the wound, and he accidentally wounded him. So he could never heal that wound set. He went through his whole life as this great master of healing and teacher, and was not able to heal himself. And you know, when you look at the centaur, which is half man in the upper torso and half horse, you look at the chakras where you're saying, okay, so the bottom chakras are our physicality and the material things that we feel in life, right? Where in the upper torso is more the ethereal, the spiritual. Okay, so here he had both. You know, he was both upper chakras being of the wisdom of the spiritual, and in the lower chakras, then he had all the earthly or material world expressions also. So you had this mind-body and spiritual event going on with him, and most centaurs were evil and aggressive, and vulgar, and he was so gentle and loving and kind. And here he suffered in his agony in life. So Apollo took pity on him and went to Zeus and asked him if he could take the place of Prometheus. Now, Prometheus was the fire god, the god of fire, and he gave the gift of fire to humanity. And it so angered Zeus that he chained Prometheus to a great boulder, and each day he would set loose his eagle to go and nibble on the liver of Prometheus. And being an immortal, he wouldn't die, and at night he would heal up to only repeat this agony. And he was destined to do this, doomed to eternity. Only he would be freed if another immortal took his place. And so Apollo's idea was to have Chiron take the place, which he did. And then when he was wounded by the eagle, he died. And he was set, the constellations, they say, some say it was Centaurus, some say it is the Centaur, which is the archer of Sagittarius. But so we look at this person that came into this world with innocence, no sin, and just being, was rejected. And that is what the energy is when we look at Chiron. Our wound sets. And like I said, at the exact moment that your soul decided to dive in, where that was is where you carry your wound set. So if it's your first house, it would be your ego, your self-expression. Your second house would be your value system, money, love, things you take through life with you, and possessions, okay? Third house would be your communication. Wound sets would, maybe as a child you were taught that, a child is to be seen and not heard. You may even have expressed it vocally, that you had problems literally with your throat or speaking, like a stutter or something. Fourth house would be your roots, your ancestry, your mother, your home where you were loved and nurtured, or you were supposed to receive that. Fifth house would be in pleasure, fun, recreation, children. And sixth house would be mundane things, daily routine around your neighborhood, but also health matters. Your seventh house would be relationships and partnerships in your life. And it doesn't always have to be love. It could be any form of partnership. Eighth house would be shared resources, like other people's money, inheritances, gifts, winning the lottery, etc. In the ninth house, it's more about your spirituality, okay, your belief system, where you may have been wounded there. You were told God's going to punish you. And you grew up with this horrible resentment or fear of God instead of the loving, unconditionally loving God. Or whatever belief system, maybe you were force-fed a religion that just didn't resonate with you. 10th house is your career, but it's your reputation, how the outside world sees you and recognizes you. 11th house is your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. And the 12th house is truly that karmic house. It's the house of endings. And it's not like you're going to die kind of thing. It's just like things that you have to end and let go of so that you can welcome in other things in your life. So if you know your natal chart, please look at where Chiron in Aries is going to hit you. If your Chiron is in Aries, well, yeah, this is really being triggered for you. But right now with Chiron moving into Aries is going to be entering, it's at the 29th degree in Pisces. So that's a critical degree, but especially where cardinal sign is involved, when you have that 0 degree, it's very critical for any of the cardinal signs. So here, Aries is the first of the cardinal signs. So it's going to really be triggering and activating things. You might be feeling a stirring in you to stand up for yourself, to fight for yourself, speak out for yourself, have a voice. Not let people walk all over you and tell you what to do anymore, ignore you, treat you like you're invisible. This is that warrior energy, but we want it to be expressed in a spiritual warrior type of way. It's a healing in you and the way you express it. People might even look at you and say, wow, they're really acting out of character. This is not typically how this person is. You're not going to be a doormat for anybody anymore. If you've been oppressed and put down, you're going to speak up for yourself. But again, we want it to be in a loving way, where it's a healing way for yourself, with that key that you unlock it, so that you let people see that I love myself. Because Aries is the first house. It's the first sign of the zodiac. It is the beginning of the astrological year. So liken it to a baby. right? A baby cries. They want to get held and picked up. They cry sometimes for no reason, just because they want attention. You know, that is a lot of the way that an Aries is expressed, because it's fearless. How dare you stop me from going forward and doing what I need to do in my life? It does have an aggressive warlike energy on a low vibration, can be bullying and stubborn. So those are the things that are a shadow side, which you can face and embrace, but you want to evolve those. You want to mature it to passion, resolve, assertiveness, strength, fortitude, rejuvenative qualities. Aries are known for healing abilities in itself because they have this youthful vibrance, and many Arians don't look their age because they have this youthful vibrance. And even if they fall sick, they tend to like bounce back all of a sudden. You're like, they were on death's bed and now they're back again because they need to heal and rejuvenate. They have that youthful energy. And when we have Chiron as a healing factor, and you have this Aries energy being triggered for all of us at this time until 2027, you better believe that you're going to be activating a lot of healing things in all of your being, mind, body, soul. You know, that spiritual healing, physical healing. You want to release a lot of the things and literally burn them off, vitrify them. That's that flame, that fire of Aries. You want to burn off the pain, the suffering, the trauma, the abuse, whatever wound sets you have, whether they're physical, spiritual, emotional, verbal. It doesn't matter. Abuse is abuse, but the deepest is spiritual. You know, when somebody attacks your belief system and you're not worthy, you're crazy, you're nuts, you're not pretty, you're never going to amount to anything. These are wounds that people bombard us with, and we start to believe these things that are not truths. They're someone else's belief system or their perceived truth. They're not ours. So at this time with this activation, as Aries is an activator, a generator, okay, it begins things. It's life force energy. It's spiritual energy. It's wisdom. It's life. It truly is life, like birth, because it's that male seed, the divine masculine energy. And Mars is that warlike energy to drive forward and be victorious. You know, always, always fighting. So we want you to work on fighting the inner fight, the turmoil you might feel within yourself, that you've accepted these wound sets are not resonant with you, and that you want to recognize that they are just another belief system of someone else, and they're not even tangible. So you don't have to try and hang on to them. You can let them go. And working on this now. And this is going to be even worldwide, because we look at Chiron affects the entirety, not just you and I. The entire world is going to be going through this awakening, this shaking going on to say, I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm not going to be put down. I'm not going to be told what to do. I'm not going to be affected by your hurting me or attempting to hurt me. And this is what all of humanity is looking towards, healing the rifts within ourselves that are being pushed on us by the establishment, the hierarchy. Okay, let's look at it in a broader term. But as you and I, like I always say, in the snapshot of who we are, we can delve into our own wound sets and know that this is the time for us to activate and generate. The battle is no longer going to be a battle. It's going to be a victory without even having to fight, because you don't have to fight anyone outside of you. It's all going to be an internal adjustment, a realignment. And how precious is it that it's happening while the North Node is in Leo, which is about love and compassion, your time to shine. I have that video up. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and see that. It was from last May, where it is our time to shine. And the South Node in Aquarius is releasing trauma, pain, and suffering that we, each and every one of us, carry in our lives, but releasing it with calm. All right? So this is a beautiful blending of things coming together at this time for us to release the inner pains we're feeling, and also unlocking that key to help others. That's very much Aries, because in its higher resolve, it is a disciplinarian, yes, but it is a diplomatic way of healing, You know, the energy, it's all about energy, especially that fire, that passion. So you want to also be the example for healing others. I mean, many of us have wound sets that we pass on to our children, or we instill a different wound set, whether we intended to or not, or it is what their karma is. Recognizing what your child's wound set is, you can be the impetus to change for them. You can be the mentor, the voice to help them with their healing. How wonderful would it be if we heal our wound sets early on in life, before the age of 7, when it's implanted in us and we have ingrained everything that we've taken in our surroundings, so that we don't have to carry that in our entire lifetime. That would be beautiful. So remember again that it will be April 17th when Chiron enters Aries until 2027. It will have a brief retrograde. It will go retrograde, let me see. Briefly, September 26th, 2018, and then it'll go back direct next year, January, February, and 2019 until May of 2027. So we have a lot of time to work on this. So if you really don't know where it is, you can go online. I think astrolab.com is one of them, Dionne, and you can print out your own birth chart. If you have the time, city and state or country, it's perfect. If not, you can still do it without knowing where your ascendant is, and find out where your Chiron is and what house, and how it will be expressed with what sign that it's in. And if you're not sure, you could always put it in the comments below. Maybe it can help you with that and tell you how it would be affecting you, and it probably would be resonant with you as where your wound sets are in this life, because most of the time we recognize early on in our lives where we are and what we don't like about ourselves or who we are because of what our environment has expressed upon us. And you know that that is not true. Okay, and if you didn't know, I'm letting you know right now. This is my belief system. It doesn't have to be your truth, but you don't have to listen to the naysayers. And you are perfect, and you are deserving, and you are loved unconditionally. And you can be that to others as well. But it starts with you. And especially with Aries being the first, and about the self and the ego. That's what we want to embrace and embody, initiating and generating a change with great power and authority to heal ourselves. So I hope this video helps you, and do embrace this new change. A lot of things are coming up for us, even in May. Uranus, another slow-moving transition, is going into Taurus, so it will affect us in the physical body and the earth in itself. Oh, and also knowing that Aries can aggravate and agitate and inflame, and we're looking at Chiron and healing. You know, it could be a lot of things being inflamed in the medical and pharmaceutical, healing, technology, about blood, rejuvenative things coming out, serums and injections and diets and things to help you rejuvenate. Because remember, Aries is also very masculine, very athletic. It could be healings of the muscles and the body. We may have scientific breakthroughs coming through with this Chiron, which is all about medicine and healing, for all of us to be more healthy and more rejuvenative, or healing of certain diseases, even of the blood or the body. And the mind, since Aries does rule the head and face of man, maybe something with Alzheimer's or blindness and things of that nature, hearing problems, etc. So do be aware of that too, and take better care of your body, and tend to healing even the vessel that your spirit is in right now, that your soul is in right now. Again, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. You'll get notification of when my videos come up. I do not solicit you. I wouldn't do that. And if anyone would like a reading with me, you can just contact me either on Facebook at Enchantress Tarot, or you can go on Instagram, Enchantress Tarot, or Twitter. I don't have a website anymore because I like to keep my costs down for my readings, and having to host a website really is counterproductive to me doing what I'm doing. Alrighty? And as always, I wish you the best.